What's up, people, and welcome back to another episode of Ghetto Gospel. So where we left off at. Last week, we talked about how Jacob was ready to pack up his family and head back to his hometown, but Laban cut a deal with him to get him to stick around. Laban tried to cheat that man out the deal they made, but God had Jacob's back, so everything got turned upside down, and Jacob ended up balling, and Laban ended up being the broke boy. And now we caught up. So the first thing it say in chapter 31 is that Jacob heard Laban's sons was talking greasy, talking about how Jacob got rich by stealing everything from their daddy. It also said that Laban started mean mugging Jacob, and he could tell that boy was feeling some kind of way. So right on time, God told him it was time to pack it up and head back to his hometown, and that he was gonna be with him. So he had Rachel and Leah meet him out in the field where all of his flocks was at, and he told them, y'all pops been looking at me like he feel away. Y'all know God been with me, even though I done worked buku hard for that man. He done cheated me and changed my pay 10 times. So God ain't let him slide with it. If he said he was gonna pay me in spotted sheep, then all the sheep was born spotted. If he said he was gonna pay me in sheep with streaks, then all the sheep was born with streaks. God flipped the script and gave me all your pop stuff. And then in verse 10, it go back and fill us in on how that happened. So you gotta remember that the first thing Laban did after he made that deal with Jacob was took all the discolored animals he was supposed to be giving him in a deal and sent them out of town with his son, so it wasn't nothing to get at man. And then in verse 10, it say that when the sheep was making baby sheep, Jacob saw streaked and spotted and speckled male sheep getting it in with the female sheep. And if you paying attention, you probably like where they came from if Laban took them all away. And the next verse tell you it was a dream he was having. And in the dream, the angel of the Lord came through like, yo, Jacob. And he was like, here I am. And the angel of the Lord was like, look, you see how all the males that's in the flock that's getting it in with the females, you see how they got spots and streaks and specks on them? I done seen what Laban been doing and how he trying to do you dirty. Then the angel was like, I'm the God of Bethel, that spot where you poured out that oil on that stone and made that promise to me. Now get up and head back to your hometown. And if you ain't catch it, essentially what he was saying to Jacob was that he promised God that if he took care of him and got him back to his hometown, that he'll worship God as God. And that's exactly what God was doing for him and then some. And once he told his wives all of that, they said they was ready to bounce because they pops was broke and he wasn't treating them like family anyway. So he packed up all of his stuff, his family, his animals, and everything else, and headed out to go back to where his pops Isaac was. And to make it worse, when Laban was out the house, Rachel stole Laban's little idols that he kept around the place. Imagine something kind of like these little ugly things. And with that, Jacob and his people was out. And we gonna put a pin in it right there. But next week, we gonna see what happened when Laban come back and realize that Jacob done bounced. So that's it for this week. If you don't know Jesus, but you trying to get to know him, go and click that first link in the description down there. I'll see y'all next week. And as always, peace. And I hope y'all people straight.